We are deep into the lifter era of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. From Marin to Captain Rex to Zori, even going back as far as Mara Jade looking at Commander Ahsoka, recently the Stap, and today Luther Rail, or whatever his last name is. We continue to get lifter characters for different factions and different teams that have fallen to the wayside. Teams we no longer use in the endgame, teams that lose their viability as they move forward in the game. Galaxy of Heroes Capital Games is releasing lifter characters for these teams. We're going to take a look at 10 more teams in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that could really use a lifter. Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. Lifters, lifters everywhere. Lifters, lifters in my hair. Lifters, lifters in my pants. Lifters, lifters making rants. I don't know. We have lifters all over this game right now in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We need a lot more. It's crazy to say it, but there are certainly a lot more teams out there that could really use a lifter. Let's start right here with the one in front of us, Geonosians. You know, the Geonosians are a really great early through mid-game team. I get a lot of holds of them actually down in Carbonite and Bronzium Grand Arena. The Geos do a lot of things for me. They do already do a lot in Territory Wars. I think guilds all the way through like very late game are using Geos on defense in Territory Wars. Maybe you guys are using them on defense or even on offense in endgame. I'm not sure about the very top of the game, but Geos have kind of faded over time in all modes except Territory Wars. They really could use another unit in here to lift them up, bring them back to their status as a team that just drives players absolutely batty. And you can see a Conquest character here where, you know, Conquest characters Conquest characters are gated behind 4 million galactic power, you know, taking a long time to unlock them, proving grounds. And, you know, when you see a team like Geos, you don't really need to improve them for the early game, but you really do need to improve them for the late game. So that's where maybe a Conquest, people have mentioned like Geo Queen or something. I don't know, the Queen Alpha. I don't know what it is. I think she was a character in Clone Wars, but the Geos could use a lifter. And while we're talking about the Geos could use a lifter, how about the Separatist fleet being able to use a lifter? When we look at those Separatist ships with the Malevolence, and there's been speculation about a Separatist capital ship, we don't know. But, you know, that Malevolence fleet really could use a lifter unit. We've seen recently that the Marauder has lifted the Negotiator to new levels. The Comeuppance has lifted the Radis to new levels. The Malevolence needs a lifter. We need a ship there. We need a Dooku's ship. We need Asajj's ship. Just more droid ships. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So Geos and their ships, that's the first place that I'm starting with a team that really needs a lifter to bring it back to where it used to be in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Let's move into our second team here. We're going to look at the Old Republic. Holy cow. Is this team on the dustbin of history or what? I mean, you go out there, you get Carthonasi, you get these guys, you get Mission, you get Zalbar, you get T3, you get Juhani, you get Candrus Ordo, you get there's one or more, two or more, and I'm not thinking of them. You get these characters, and you got an Old Republic team, and they're just crap in like every game. This team is crap. Like, you bought the bundles, you got Carth and T3 at relic levels because you bought the bundles. You bought the bundle for Radis, right? And you need them to get the Radis. Great. You still can't even use this team. People put this team on defense. It's such an easy kill. You throw out just an OG Kylo Ren. He wipes out this team all by himself. He just crushes this team. This team has been on the dustbin for a long, long, long time. I remember a day long ago when you might use this team and you might throw in like an Emphas Nest onto there. I can't remember the composition exactly, but put it out there for Territory Wars. But this team now is just a throwaway team. People will put it on defense for Grand Arena. People may use it on offense. I don't know. Just a toss-away team, dustbin. We need an Old Republic lifter like nobody's business. Something to use these characters that just don't get used anymore except just to fill a slot in Grand Arena or somewhere else. Hey, how about Captain Phasma? You know, we've got the Captain Phasma Omicron that came out for TW. We've got the First Order TIE Pilot Omicron that came out for Grand Arena. And still, this team remains on the back burner of the teams. Now, I do know that my guild up until recently, even at 240, 250 million, 300 million, was still using Phasma Omicron on defense in Territory Wars. And you know, I don't know, we were having some success with it. It was okay. It's a good enough team to put back there to at least give a little bit of pause in the mid-game, you know, mid-tier, get into late-game tier territory wars. The first order TIE Pilot Omicron, honestly, if I see a Phasma team out there, I could Wampa it with abandon. It doesn't matter if the Omicron's there or not. It feels like a really cool Omicron, like 100 extra speed, everybody gets a bunch of offense, lots of cool stuff happening, but it doesn't lift the team, you know, to the point where the game is now. We really need some kind of first order lifter. Now, they've done this recently with Datacrons, congratulations, but we need a character in here, and I don't know what that character would be. Well, Snoke could be a lifter for first order in general, but Snoke feels like me to a character that would fit onto a team with Kylo and Hux, right? Or maybe they release a Snoke and say, no Galactic Legends, like they do with a lot of this stuff, and just take him out of his comfort zone and say he doesn't want you other guys in there. He's going to go help Phasma, and he's going to help the crew out here. I don't know, but this team is another dustbin team, kind of sitting there, really unused, and when you see it, you don't really panic, and you don't really it doesn't interest you at all, so we could use a lifter on this Captain Phasma team for sure. Coming up next, hey, how about the Solo Squad? I put Enfys Nest in there. L3 is the other character from this team. L3 has a lot of uses in the game. You can put her on different teams with, you put her out there with even Rey or Sortie. You know, that insta-taunt, she's a beefy character. L3 has a lot of uses. Vandor, you find uses for on a Dash Rendar team. Enfys Nest gets there with some scoundrels, kind of gets out on her own. Kira, Han, and young Lando, unless your name is Glurmit, you ain't using these characters. These guys, and by the way, this is a horrible picture. Can we fix this? This is awful. That does not look like Alden. I like Alden Ehrenreich. I wish he'd show up some more with Han Solo, but that does not look like him at all. Anywho, what are we talking about? What about like oh no, now I had their names and now I'm forgetting them. The bad guy, Vision. Hang on, I'm gonna go look him up. Vision and Woody Harrelson, right? So we've got Tobias Beckett, who's Woody Harrelson in the movie. Never came to the game. I think a lot of people thought he would probably be a Journey character. And when you look at Dash Rendar's, image, it does look like maybe it was Woody Harrelson, then they pulled him off and plugged in Dash Rendar down there. And the timing was suspicious at the time too. So, and Dryden Voss, the bad guy, Paul Bettany, Vision. These are characters that would be great lifters for a team like this out of Solo. I'd love to see a team. You know what? I think over time, a lot of us have really said, we like Solo. We enjoy the movie. I'd love to be using these characters more. And again, there are spots for Vandor. There is a spot for Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest really, through the mid-game, great. And then she just kind of fades off of the occasional Solo or whatever. But these three just don't really get used. I'd love to see a lifter for the Solo characters. Dryden Voss, Tobias Beckett. Give us something. Maybe both of them. Love to see both of them in game to give us something we could do with this team or these characters here. Or maybe even like, how about Old Maul? That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? I mean, they never went anywhere with the movie because the movie just died. But yeah, how about these Galactic Republic Jedi? I know we've had characters like Kelleran Beck, and we keep getting Omicrons and Datacrons for Luminara and Dooley that don't really do anything. But even with all that stuff, even with Kelleran Beck, we're not seeing these characters really used. It's not like Kelleran Beck's going out there now with Ima Gunday, Kit Fisto, Jedi Consular, Eth Koth, and making a big splash of the game. He's using the old classics like Jedi Knight Anakin and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Those characters are staying in. Let's get a lifter character in game that says, the less words you have in your kit, the better performance you're going to get. And we'll make it a rhyme, like, less words in your kit, better performance you get. Back to that. Let's do something with these characters that, they've been sitting here literally since day one. I think Barros is there day one. And Barros got a cool Zeta at one point that lasted, through 2018. It was really cool. And now she pops up every now and then. She's just not super useful in game. Let's find a lifter, a real super lifter. And man, you're throwing out Gungan factions right now where they only work with Gungans. We're certainly throwing out a lot of teams that only work within their faction. Let's create a faction. We'll call it Useless Galactic Republic Jedi, and we'll have a Useless Galactic Republic Jedi lifter, and or maybe Galactic Republic Jedi dustbin characters. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Let's get a lifter for these guys so we can actually start using them in the game for the first time since early 2016. These guys, they just don't get used in the game. It's insane that they just sit out there repeatedly with nothing going on. Hey man, I don't know if this might hit some people the wrong way. Bad Batch, Omega's out there. Omega was the lifter for the Bad Batch, and that was an early lifter in the game. But As far as, is she like an amazing lifter and elevates them to all new levels? No. People that got the Bad Batch kit, like me, on my Lord Vader account and are farming them early, I let go of Omega pretty quickly. I'm not that worried about her. I'm plugging in Captain Rex. I'm plugging in Fives. You're plugging in other clones. Omega's going to be better than like maybe Cody or Clone Sergeant or something, but any clone can fit here. And I know we've been seeing over and over and over and over and over and over again, Crosshairs, leaks reportedly. Crosshairs and Red 5 are probably going to show up together at the exact same time and literally blows out of the water. But hey, Crosshairs in here would be a great lifter for this team. It's still a very good team in game. It does a lot of good things for you, especially through the mid game and even the late game. I think in end game, the Bad Batch have fallen off and aren't what they used to be. So let's get a lifter out there and make them a lot of fun. Everybody loves the show. People, it's still a hot topic. So get Crosshairs out there. People want to see Crosshairs in the game. How about the Imperial Troopers, the Veers Troopers? You guys know I love this team. By the way, this team takes a lot of different looks on it. This is just one of the looks. You guys know I love a General Veers Trooper team. I think it should be one of your first 2 teams in game. I'm still sticking to that even to this day. They just do so much for you. They lead you to so many places. Veers and Stark and Piet lead you to Sith Eternal. Piet lead you to the Executor. There's so many good things going on here with an Imperial. They give you 2 assault battles. The Veers Trooper team is great, but after you get through the mid game, into the late game, and then finally the end game, the Troopers kind of fall off. They're not really used by end game players anymore. We could really, we would have been whispers of like a zombie trooper coming to the game or something like that. We could really use a lifter for this Veers Imperial Trooper team to get it to where end game players are once again investing time and energy using this team in different game modes or in Grand Arena specifically. But it's time for the Veers Troopers to get some kind of lifter to get them above, get them back into high status in the game. What about our leftover Hut Cartel characters? And I threw IG-88 in there, but Greedo, Cad Bane, Gamma, Mob Enforcer. I could really see a lifter like a leader here. Somebody that's using, I think when they put out, Zam Wessel is one of the original lifter characters. Maybe, I don't know if I'd call her that. But anyway, when they gave her the Omicron, she was lifting the bounty hunters up. I know that originally the intent was maybe to put her with Greedo and Mob Enforcer to have some of these thermals going off. It didn't really work out that way. Cad Bane has a thermal as well. It didn't really work out that way. Would love to see a character with some kind of thermal detonator, real true elevation here for this team to use the extra Hut Cartel, a Hut Cartel character. And you think of like Bouch Leia, who wouldn't be in charge of a team like this. Somebody else with some kind of thermal detonator love that could come out here and make Greedo and Mob Enforcer, Cad Bane, characters that use those thermal detonators. They use is it thermal detonators or bombs? What are we calling them? I think thermal detonator. That's the actual name of her ability. Let's elevate these characters by putting, people have invested in these guys specifically for Jabba. They're sitting there unused on their roster right now. I know the IG falls into like some droid teams and maybe a Dr. Aphra team, but yeah, still just kind of goofy. And IG, by the way, is just the extra of the filler now that I'm saying it out loud. But let's get some kind of lifter for these extra Hut Cartel characters that have the thermal detonators, so that then we can start using care. I would love to use Greedo in game and take my 50% shot to get a crit every time and keep firing. Hey, I might get some blowback on this one, but Iden Versio. So right now, here's how the game works. You put Iden Versio on defense just to absorb your opponent's Wampa. And yeah, if you're early game and your opponent doesn't have a Wampa, you can put Iden out there and she can do some really cool stuff. She'll get a lot of holds for you. Iden, if your opponent doesn't have Wampa, Iden with any other 4 Imperial Troopers that are not leaders or droids will cause a significant amount of consternation in the early game. Once she gets to mid game and players have Wampa, she's just a Wampa absorber. That's all it is. Go on the front line, I throw my Wampa out, boom, done. I traded 1 Wampa for your 5 Idens, 5-person Iden team. What next? Give us something that, applies a tenacity up out there. Give us something that can really counter that Wampa or make Iden so that you can't just go out there and throw out a Wampa and press auto and move on with your life. Give us some kind of trooper lifter for Iden Versio so we can pull her out of this, let's make it so that other teams, and we're going to have to get anyway. So that's just a thought I don't know what I was going to say there, but I did say it. And then finally, since we're looking at it here, if we do that, we're going to have to give Wampa a partner. We're going to have to give Wampa some kind of partner, you know, baby Wampa, husband Wampa, wife Wampa. Well, there's discussion about whether whatever, it doesn't matter. Extra Wampa, Wampa with abandon. I don't know. You know, we believe there are 2 Wampas in the cave. There are a lot of deleted scenes where there are multiple Wampa. Is it Wampas or Wampa? Let me know in comments right now. Is the plural of Wampa, and I'm sure you can look it up, but I'm not looking it up right now because I'm making an important video for all of you people, but is the plural of Wampa, is it Wampas or is it Wampa? Like there were many Wampa rolling over the hill toward me as I contemplated all the mistakes I'd made in life. Or should I say there are many Wampas rolling. It feels like it should be Wampa plural, but I'd like to hear and know from you guys, what is the plural of Wampa? Anyway, we could get another Wampa in game to kind of mix it up a little bit. Give us a lifter for Wampa. This one I kind of see as like a far-off pipe dream for us here in the game. Hey, let me know, are there any other teams out there that you believe need a lifter? I'd love to hear from you in comments. And you know, we're gonna for sure keep seeing lifters in the game. They're gonna continue to be released as we move forward in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I hope everybody has a great day. I will definitely talk to you soon. And always remember, Nooch too good.